Good morning. It's Tuesday, July 19th, 2022. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice Baguazhang, the 8 palm changes. We have palm change number 2 that we're working on. Started yesterday. We're going to continue with that today. We may continue with it next week. I'm going to see how it goes today, and by the end of class, I will let you know. The focus has been on the basics, on footwork, on how we turn, on the foundations, right? Stepping methods, sliding step, hook step, that side to side closing step. I just did that. And yes, and as we pay attention to those foundations, we're now moving on to where we need to use them. Okay? So that process of here's the foundation, here's what we're doing with it, here's why you need it, now we're going to use it. The same with the first palm change. The first palm change is a foundation set that each of the other palm changes uses in some fashion. It's there. It's important. That's why it's number 1. That's why it's first. Okay, so there. Okay, I've also talked about there being. I've just had a warning message up over here. We're okay now. All right. I've also talked about there being a couple of different patterns that we can use. One is to just simply switch from side to side without walking the circle. Another is to walk the circle and return to the place that we started each time. So I go around and I started here, I end up here, I make the palm change and I go back around the other way, and I stop here and I do the other palm change and I go back around the other way. How many laps we do in between those palm changes? 1, 5, 8. 8 is a good number. It's Bagua. Ba means 8. Gua is the 8 directions. It's the 8 trigrams, and they are placed on a circle in 2 different patterns. One is the earlier heaven pattern, which is the one that we use. The other is the later heaven pattern, which other schools use. And each one has a certain point on that circle that corresponds to north, south, east, west, northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest, as well as to those 8 trigrams, as well as to which palm change is done at what point on the circle. Those patterns give us another layer of practice. I'm telling you this because that's where we're going, and it's going to go quickly. Okay? It's going to go quickly. This class, my intention is that it would be 8 to 12 weeks, probably 16. That's quick. But there's only 8 palm changes. Yeah, there's only 8 palm changes. All right, keep that in mind. Combine those 8 palm changes with the practice sets that I just mentioned. Okay, now add some internal workmanship. Nagel, how we manage those turns, how we collect the energy, and how we develop the energy through that practice. Because Bagua is dynamic. We're moving. That skill is also part of this class. So the 16 weeks is a little bit short. I think it's possible. And like with Xingyi, like with Taiji, like with some of the sword that I've already presented, I will come back to this, and there will be different forms and different formats that I'm going to use with this class. And I will tell you that there's a really strong high likelihood, if I'm at 100%, right? If I'm talking about it, it's going to happen. There will be some discussion of Bagua in the next threads, the newsletter that I've started. I'm going to continue it. The next one will have some discussion of Bagua, more than just the really brief introduction thing that I put in for the July issue. All right, so there's more coming. Let's get started. That gives me an opportunity to check the system over here, as well as to clear my throat. All right, feet about shoulder width apart. Shoulders down. Pull up through the crown of the head. Bend the knees. Wiggle the toes. Wiggle the fingers. And circle the front. Back around to both sides. Keep the knees bent. Up along the center line. Stretch out. Bend the knees. Roll through the hip. Come up through the spine, roll up one vertebra at a time. Drop the tailbone. And stack the bones on top of it. One more time. Fingertips reach up, elbows drop down, wrists. Follow your fingertips down, roll down, bend the knees. Reach out. Elbows drop down, fingertips. Follow your fingertips down. Stretch out, roll up, arch through the back as you come up. Use the back of the leg. Roll, but in the opposite direction. Okay? I'll talk about that in a minute. Keep going. Turn to your left. I'm going to turn to my right. Use the knees, use the ankle. Turn through the hip. Turn through the waist, turn through the ribs, turn through the shoulders. Yeah, go one more time. Come back to center. And go the other way. I'm turning to my left. You're going to your right. Turn. Keep the legs straight, but allow the knees to bend. One more time. And I'll explain that in a minute too. Come on up. Elbows drop down. Wrists, fingertips, hands return to your sides. Okay, so two things. Roll through the back as we go over this idea of lifting through the hip and turning through the hip lets us bend forward. As we come up, start at the base and work up, right? So, roll up. It really is this kind of motion. What I'm doing with my wrist is what you're doing with your spine. As we reach out to come up, that changes to the other direction. So this to stack becomes this. Right? Instead of going this way, up from underneath. This one drops down here. This one comes up. Right? So the goal is here, not here, for the second one. Right here. Start and roll up. And yeah, we do want to lean back just a little tiny bit. I'm not trying to go backward. Just a little bit. And reach up at the same time. The other thing I mentioned, keep your legs straight as we go from side to side. Okay? So don't turn your leg and do funny things with your leg as you turn here. This should stay more or less straight. There's going to be some, you've got to make some adjustment. But the idea should be keep your knees over your toes. Don't do this. Right? This is bad. This is not Bagua. This is bad. Don't do this. See where I'm leaning? See how the weight that's on my toe, or excuse me, the weight on my knee and the relationship of my knee to my toe? No, that's bad. This is fine. This is bad. This is fine. Notice that I turn my heel so that my knee remains over the toe. That's why it's fine. Keep the knee over the toe. Here, as we turn, there's going to be a little bit of pressure here to the outside. Keep this knee in place. Same thing on this side as we turn outward. This has to push outward to keep this in place to reach over the leg. That reach out over the leg, seriously, over the leg. That stretch engages the knee and the ankle in this turn, right? The foot stays in place, ankle turns, the knee turns, the hip turns, everything turns so I can go this way, right? Same thing back the other way. We want that warm up. That's why we're doing this. All right, for me in particular, for Bagua, so that I don't hurt myself, right? I'm talking about that as we do our leg work. Left leg back, right leg front. Wide stance. Remember the knee over the toes? All right. Ready? Keep going. As we practice in Bagua, as we develop some skills, as I'm trying to show certain things, it's important that I'm warmed up so that I don't hurt myself. That I've done it, I've not warmed up and I've hurt myself. I don't want to do that anymore. All right, so that part of your own practice, that you need to recognize where you should and where you need to warm up. Pushing into the back of the leg and the hip, right here. All right, other side. Makes all the difference in what you're able to do with the art and within the skills that you have. Open the back knee. Sink. That warm-up part of, all right, relax. That warm-up part of getting ready, I'm trying to do something here, let's see what I can do. That test, right? Let me explain real quick. It's my day to talk, apparently. As I'm getting warmed up, as I'm going through these sets, I'm doing a couple of things that you notice. Talk about it. Here's what we're supposed to do. Here, pay attention to this, right? I'm also doing some things that you don't know about until I tell you, and I'm going to tell you a little bit right now. I'm listening to what my body is telling me. How do you feel today, Terry? What's your hip? Your hip's okay today. Okay, good. What about your knee? Yeah, knee's all right. Yeah, this hip is nah, but that's been that way. So, all right. What about? Yeah, no, everything else feels pretty good. Okay, great. There are days when that's not true. Back's bothering me. No, that hip is not. It's not going to happen today, right? Knowing that, when I come into practice, I start looking for, as I warm up, what is my body telling me? This is going to be okay after I warm up. This is not going to be okay after I warm up. What's there? That gives me a big part of what I'm actually going to do. I come in with some idea of what I'm going to do every morning. This is what I've had planned for today. What I actually do, what I actually teach, comes from me. It's my practice. I'm in the room, I'm practicing. What am I doing? What am I paying attention to? What am I thinking about? How do I practice? That class, because that's a big part of what teachers do, is they know something and they start talking about it, and they help other people learn. That's what we do. That idea behind it, have some idea what I'm going to do. I come into class and I practice, and how I feel is something that I check at the beginning of class so that I know what I'm going to try to do during class. What are my limits today? What are my limits today? Asking yourself that question every time you practice, every day, is not only informative, it will take your practice to the next level. Because when you know how you feel, you can adjust what you're doing to just that. So, I feel pretty good today. Well, maybe I want to do a little bit more physical exercise. Maybe I want to pay a little bit more attention to the internal work. And I'm kind of, alright, maybe I'm going to work on my foundations today, right? Those decisions in our own practice, my practice, make all the difference in whether or not I'm going to continue my practice. I've been going on, I talk about that, I've been going on 40 years. So, yeah, I'm going to keep going. This kind of understanding of your own body, your own feelings, take a Yi Jing, 这是 Xingyi, emotions. How your emotional body and your energy body and your Jing, not Qi, and Qi all connect and work together. Asking yourself, how do I feel today? What is I feel like? Yeah, I feel pretty good. Alright? Yeah, that's a little issue with my back this morning. Today, no, I don't, but I've had that. Knowing what you can do. I've said this before. Knowing what you can do. Knowing what you feel like doing. What do I feel like doing today? And allowing that to help guide your practice. Help guide, not drive. Help guide. Will give you a level that you won't get to if you come to practice and think, I'm going to do this thing this way today, and I've got to think this, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do that, and I've got to go. That doesn't give you the connection. Make a connection. Feet together. Yeah, I do feel pretty good today. Stand straight. I may have solved a problem. I'm not sure yet. I like it when I can solve a problem instead of just having to deal with it. And relax the breath. Pull up through the crown of the head. Bend the knees. Sliding step. Left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn around. Start with the right. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn around. Side to side. And this is going to go fast. Side to side. Pay attention to where your head is. Pay attention to bringing your shoulders around with your hips. Open right, close left. Open left, close right. Go. Stay centered. And go back the other way. Open right, close left. Right, left, left, right, left, right, left. Relax. Hook step. No hands. Yeah, it was a short relax, wasn't it? Okay. I'm going to slide left, hook right. Hook, slide, hook, slide, hook, slide. Keep going. Don't lean into the circle. Keep going. Keep your body straight. Keep your foot far enough off the floor that it brushes the floor, but doesn't stick to the floor. All right, and stop. We're going to go back the other way. Left, right foot straight, left foot hook. Don't lean in. Don't lean in. Keep going. One more time. All right, and stop. Without this turn through the hip, shoulders, without this twist through the body, it's really easy to get pulled into that circle. I just did that twice, once on each side. I was feeling that's where I gave that correction. Make sure your body stays straight. The twist. So here, turn. Hips here. Hips go to here. Feet go here. Knees go with the feet. Knees go with the feet. Hips, turn. Ribs, shoulders, turn. That twist pull up and down through the spine. So pull up, and we're also going to reach under it and pull down. What you want is a rat that goes in both directions. This idea that my spine is well supported all the way down as it turns, as each vertebra can turn. There's space in between all of them. Normally, sometimes it doesn't, it get a little older and stuff happens, but for the most part, there's a little bit of space in between all the vertebrae. We want to extend that gently, very gently. Okay? So, tailbone drops down, crown of the head pulls up. Through the neck spine, back of the neck, through the neck spine. So we have this pull up and twist downward. That gives us our hand position here. Here's my hands. My hands didn't change. My body did. That apparent motion is something that I'm stressing because we need to pay attention to it. What appears to be this from one angle is this. Notice the space here. Notice the plate. Yeah. Alright. And notice where my front hand is. It's not back here. Slightly in front of my shoulder. Fingertips no higher than my nose. Give or take my shoulder height. Somewhere in between here. It looks like it's straight out, but it's not. That difference matters so much to not only the shape of the form, but to what we can do with it. If we're not paying attention to that rounded shape through the body, if we're not paying attention to that physical twist inside, the energy that we bring to the form through the turns and walking the circle will be scattered and off balance, neither of which we want. Alright, first turn, feet together, stand straight, salute, open the toes, turn, center, keep going, right foot front, close, up, out, come around, left side, left to the inside, step left, close right, up, out, turn, come around. Do it again. Right foot front, close left, up, step out, close, left to the inside, come around, step left, close, up, out, close, come to center. Stay there. Relax. It's the first palm change. We come back to where we started. Walk the circle. The ideal is 8 or 12 steps. So you need 12. We can open up that circle a little bit more. 8 for each of the 8 directions. Okay? Each step is at one of those. If this is Tian heaven in the south, this would be southwest, west, right? That's this half of the circle. Each step represents a possible point at which we could do a particular palm change. This exercise, everything comes back to the starting point. So I start here, walk the circle, palm change, walk the circle. First palm change without walking the circle. Right foot front, left foot back, right hand to the inside, left hand at the right hip. Step around with the left, close, palms up, close, open left, close right, up, out, turn, open, close. Pay attention to the circles. Keep going. Two more. And stop. Alright, the second to the last one on the right was a little fuzzy, but the goal, keep it going. Each time, as you turn, that sense of where am I in space, what direction am I going, right? That change, we need to pay attention to that. Now, can I speed that up a little bit? Yeah, maybe a little. Not too much. I'd have to practice to speed that up a little bit, and it's not the lesson for today. Palm change number 2. We start out almost the same. I covered this yesterday. We start out almost the same. Here. As I step up, with this motion, from here, what we've done is this, right? Hand comes under, swings out, and comes out. Under, circle, and down. All right. Now we want split. Both hands come together. This hand is moving, by the way. It's not just there, but it's also not moving as much as my upper hand. Come up, wrists crossed, give or take your nose. Not up here. Not down here. Turn over. And split out. Notice that I'm not at the same height. My right hand is going, my right leg, it's going to be lower. Left hand is higher. So there's more of a bend here in my left hand than there is in my right. As I'm turning, it's hard to do this. It's hard to go through the step-by-step explanation while I'm doing it. All right, so, okay, while I'm turning, part of my weight will shift to the heel as I come around. So, right here, there's a shift in my weight as I make the turn. Let me start here. Right here. This foot has to turn. That's the only one we can go that direction. Right? As I come through, this has meaning. It does. More or less where you're supposed to end up. Okay? I could be lower. I might be lower in a minute. That effort and the use of the energy that we have through the turn increases what we're doing in the turn. So if I'm static, just static motion, which is what I've been doing, all right? So I'm here and close and up, out, turn, split, up, down, come around. I don't have much of a dynamic. There's not anything other than me that's going to carry that movement. On the other hand, if I'm moving more quickly, I have that kinetic energy, physics, it's physics, it's really physics. I have that kinetic energy that I built as part of walking the circle, so that when I come around, I have more, not only more energy, but potentially a different range of movement, in part due to that energy that I'm paying attention to. All right, with the circle, second palm change. Feet together, stand straight. Salute. Ready. Open the left. Turn. Open to the right. Walk circle. Close. Up. Out. Close in. Split. Turn, open, close. Go back the other way. Close, press out, back under, split, turn, out, step up, and walk the circle again. Back the other way. All right, relax for a second. I did not go step by step through the left side, the second palm change. I didn't. And I'm not going to do that this morning. I'll do it tomorrow, but I'm not going to do that this morning. What I want to pay attention to with that is how we turn around. Just the thought process. I'm going to do this to this side, I'm going to do this to this side. How do I work out? What do I do on the other side? That is your assignment, should you choose to try. That conscious effort where I've marked it out. Here we are on the right side, and we come around here and up, step out, come around, split, turn, up, and out, step around and close. Do that the other side. We'll work on it tomorrow. I'm going to stop here for today, though. Thursday and Friday, Qigong class, foundations on Thursday, and advanced sets on Friday. I hope you'll join me. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate it.